Alright, so it's your man Tron Walker here again. I'm just here to give you all an update as to how the Tron deck has been going and to thank a couple people who have been going above and beyond to give me their feedback and new ideas about, what all is going on with the deck. So first and foremost, I gotta thank my man Joey. I know in my comments of my prior videos, you guys see me where I'm thanking him for letting me know comments were not turned on. The reason for that is I guess I had it selected that the videos were made for kids, and I guess somebody thinks that kids don't comment on videos, so because of that, they decided if it's for kids, then they cannot comment. But, since Magic is a game for people of all ages, I figured choosing that option was best. Well, apparently not, because it doesn't allow me to get feedback from, a majority of viewers that are gonna look at the videos. But, like I said, Joey let me know the comments were not turned on. I went ahead and took care of that, made sure he got the credit for it. And since then, he has probably spent 10 or 11 hours with me working on this deck, trying to see exactly how efficient and how broken we can make it. And so far, we've been doing excellent. Like, he recommended the card Explore to, go ahead and draw a card and put an additional land into play. And because he recommended that, it made it to where we could ultimate Liliana on turn 3. So that means on turn 3 we have both Doubling Season and Liliana coming into play, which did happen and we, got it to be successful and everything. So that's a turn 3 Liliana ultimate. But the issue we ran into is it was on such an inconsistent basis that because of that we decided we would have to change some things to see if we can get it to work more often. And for me personally, this version of the deck is what's been most consistent with winning for me. So because that's the case, I just decided to go over this one with you guys today. Alright, so I played against a guy named Never Lucky, and he had recommended Veil of Summer to me. By the way, he's an excellent control player, so if you guys ever do run into him, hopefully y'all do have this card on sideboard. But Veil of Summer. So you guys can go ahead and read the card. But the main reason why I'm deciding to add it is the fact that he kept countering all my spells, even though I was able to pull off the win against him. If I had this card on the sideboard, it would have been extremely easy for me to go ahead and win. Especially the fact that I had Tron set up and I had a green mana, but he just kept preventing me from playing Doubling Season. And then when I did get Doubling Season out, he just kept preventing me from playing Planeswalkers after that. So yes, I went ahead and added Veil of Summers in. And quite honestly, to sideboard and put this card in, it really wouldn't take much because all I would have to do is switch out whichever Planeswalkers I think would be less efficient against them. So probably Liliana and Ral. And then Terrarians maybe. But since this still does allow me to draw a card, I'm really not losing anything doing it. But I'll go over the main deck with you guys before, checking out the sideboard. So as far as the mana goes, or the mana base goes, I haven't really changed anything. It's still the same old. And the reason why is just because it works. I know we could put, a few other lands, burn lands, and so on and so forth in. But as of right now, the deck works as far as the mana base for me. Maybe it's, because I have a lot of time and experience playing Tron specifically. So I kind of have a better idea than most people as far as what to look at. But now we have, 3 Ancient Stirrings. I think prior to this we had a version where we had 4. But for some reason, like I said, the deck's working, so If it's working, it's what we gotta go over and go with. Because in modern, even though you might have some amazing ideas sometimes, it doesn't mean the amazing ideas work. And this is one of those cases. But the main part of the deck works, which is doubling season, followed by a Planeswalker the ultimate, and then you get to have whatever fun you want. Also, with the Terrarians, I put these in, and since it's a turn 1 card that you can play, and then turn 2 you can play your second land and then use this, and you basically set yourself up to have 2 green mana, you could potentially use Ancient Stirring into Ancient Stirrings again, to where you can filter through 10 cards trying to find your other 2 Tron lands, or your 1 Tron land, if it's just, one you're looking for. But then at the same time, you can also play Oath with it. So because you could play Oath and something else to filter, that's an excellent card to me because it sets up your mana so well. The issue with it though is kind of late towards the late game. It's not nearly as efficient. But it's been doing great things for me, so yeah. Right now I'm running 3 copies of it and 3 copies of Ancient Strings. Manamorpho's still there, Legiana's still there. I think the Walkers have not changed at all. And pretty much everything else here is the same. I'm still thinking about the whole more kinds on sideboard and Ugins on sideboard, just, for the odd matchups. Especially if somebody's playing elves or something, Ugin would be coming in clutch. And then Karn, turn 3 Karn, is great against anyone. Except if you're playing Burn maybe, because you might be dead by the time you get to use it the second time. But it is what it is. Alright, so the main thing with this video is the sideboard. So now I feel like the deck's consistent enough to where I need to turn my focus away from the main deck and start going towards the sideboard. So, according to my man Never Lucky once again, Veilless Summer, absolutely necessary, so added that card in. I decided to put 4 Wilts in the sideboard. The reason why is this can destroy Stony Silence and Blood Moon and cards of that nature that, are going to set us back. But those 2 are the ones that are, in my opinion, the most important. The Jay's Cunning Castaway, that's just there, for fun. If you want to try to ultimate it and have an infinite amount of other Jay's Castaways and then tokens and whatnot. The Teferi is an excellent card because, once again, this is something that stops your opponent from countering your spells. So if you're doing the Teferis plus the Veil of Summers, your opponent's going to be in for a really hard time, especially if they're playing, a control deck. Narset Transcendent. Not sure if you guys looked into her before, but if she ultimates, your opponents cannot counter any more spells or cast anything except for creature spells. Which, for control, that's pretty much telling them they can't play their deck. Which is ironic because that's kind of what they're having you do. So, the Tamio Collector of Tales. I had a couple people recommend this card to me. The main reason why is it stops discard. And the new Ashiat that came out that, forces you to, I think, discard 4 cards and then exiles them or something like that. But just because we've been seeing that so often with matchups, Joey recommended it, so I put it on the sideboard. And I can't say I've had to use it yet, but I'm sure it's, approaching very quickly because it seems like decks like that are kind of taking over the format right now. At least on the free-to-play software that I use. The Chandras are still here. Not really for anything specific right now. Flamecaller, obviously is the board wipe, so that's good. And she can win the game by herself. If she board wipes and gets rid of your opponent's creatures, she's just gonna be having, 3/1 soaking out of them every single turn. And then if you have doubling seals now, it's gonna be 4/3/1 elemental creature tokens swinging at him every turn. Ebola's still here, and that's pretty much it. There's really not much else changed with the deck, but I am still playing it very aggressively just to get more data and input on what to change. So if you all have any more ideas, just let me know. For the people who I have played against, if you see me not mention one of your ideas, just let me know again, and I will for sure mention the fact that you're the one that gave me that idea, because there has been a lot of feedback from the people watching these videos. So I just want to make sure I give the credit where credit is due. And quite honestly, I'm not sure I'll be able to thank everyone, but at the very least, if you guys are helping me give me these feedbacks and you watch my video and you don't hear your name mentioned, just send me a message, leave a comment, let me know, and I will for sure make sure you get your credit in the next video. Later on, I am gonna playtest this deck on here on tappedout.net just to kind of show you guys how I play the deck and hopefully give you guys more of an insight as to why it seems like I always get Tron almost every single game.